Uh, G'day guys, it's Tim from Tim's Adventures. Okay, an update on how am I going. Alright, there's quite a bit of an update actually. Okay, so after I left the hospital in Rockhampton, now it's been 9 days, and they set an interview for me in 9 days time to take the plaster cast off. Oops, there's a mosquito flying around. And check the wound out, which I thought was really ridiculous for that amount of time. Now, I've been putting up with pain using endone only during the night, and during the night I've been taking 2 endones, and the night before going to Emerald to the hospital to get this done, I was in quite a bit more pain, and I used 3 of them to be able to go to sleep or to have some kind of rest. So I ended up in the hospital, and I kept saying that my foot is swollen, but people around me keep imagining things and saying no, it's not, it looks better, but to me it didn't. That's why I wanted to rip the cast off. So when the reveal time came out, and we had a video conference with Rockhampton, with a doctor and I'd say a couple of nurses or receptionists, I don't know, on the other side. They opened it up, and I could see that my whole foot was red. It swelled right up to ridiculous. I mean, it swelled up more than what it was after the operation. Okay, it looked worse. It was seeping out pus out the side, and it was just all different colours. Looked rotten actually. It looked like as if I was going to lose my foot. That's the way it looked like. It was absolutely disgusting. And the nurses thought so too. It stunk. They even said it stinks. Pus is oozing out. The stitches were still in and everything anyhow. The doctor downplayed it, making out like it's okay, it's no big deal. And then he turned around and made the mistake of turning around and telling me, hey, your wound looks better than what it did before. And I said to him, no, sorry, don't turn around and say that. It's 10 times worse, I said to him. I've got video off the foot when I left Rockhampton and what the foot looks like now. And then showed him the video footage. So he was just making up stories. I do recall his face familiar, but he's just was another doctor of many that just come in and making false reports, and not false reports but false statements, quoting different things and stuff, and making out that I need this, I need that, when they had absolutely no idea. Anyhow, besides all that, turned around, and of course I had a disagreement, stood my ground and told him no, have a look at the footage. So he looked at the footage, then he shut up, and but still persisted that I put it in a cast. And when the nurse suggested that I put it in a moon boot, he declined it, which I thought was a good idea, because that way it can be, the dressings can be changed. Okay. So anyhow, the decision was made, because he's a doctor and it's up to him to decide, to turn around and put this silver tape. It was called silver something, I can't remember exactly. They put it on, and it's like duct tape, but blackish silver, and it's super fine, super thin, and they put it inside the wound, cut it and put it inside the wound, right? Because now took all the stitches out, by the way, now, and I'm thankful for that, because the stitches were still in there, which relieved a lot of pressure as well. Then on top of that, they put some sort of bandage that it was about that thick, and that draws out, that is supposed to draw out the pus. Now, the nurse turned around and suggested that, that the dressing should be checked more often, but he persisted and said to make an appointment in 1 week's time. But I am actually going on Monday because I've been given an order which I couldn't understand. They want to take my blood, but they didn't want to take it there and then. He didn't give an order to take the blood there and then, because if I had something like more than 50%, they would have to put me in intravenously or whatever to get rid of the poison that's in my blood. But if it's under 50%, the tablets I'm taking, antibiotic tablets, should fix it. Anyhow, I'm going in on Monday over here at the Gemfields because they can apparently do it right there and then and take my blood. And I'm going to ask the nurse to turn around and take this bandage off, the cast, and see what's going on. Only because I have noticed, if you have a look, I'll stop this and turn it around. My foot now, I don't know if you guys can, let me show you. Anyhow, my skin is starting to wrinkle. Okay. There. Well, anyhow, I can see it. It's starting to wrinkle, which means the swelling is going down. There's a mosquito biting me right on the foot. Okay. Won't stop, will it? Okay, sorry guys, I had to show it off. I've got actually ice. I put ice underneath here for the pain. I had to take an endo because it was just phenomenal, super pain that I had, and it's actually, the endone is working one tablet. Okay, so I've got a bit of confidence here. Yeah, so anyhow, it's looking that way, but the severe pain that is happening is different compared to the first days. And this is the thing that I'm trying to work out, whether it's okay or whether it's not, because the nurse turned around and said, if you are copping unusual severe pain, go to emergency. That's it, to the hospital, or call an ambulance, whichever way, get yourself there. Yeah. And they'll take it off and have another look. But anyhow, Monday I'm getting a blood test and I'm going to put up with it till Monday. They've given me a prescription for 10 more endones. I'll just turn this around. Yeah, they've given me a prescription for 10 more endones, and I've used up now 3. Last night I used up 2, which actually relieved all the pain, and I slept till 4 o'clock in the morning. A little bit better. I think I woke up once during the night and it wasn't so bad actually. It was thank God, a good sleep. I could feel that it is drawing. It's the pus is coming out, and it relieved the pain. Now this one endone is relieving the pain. Yeah, where it's bearable, which it says in Google that if it works in relieving the pain, then it's okay. Right? Like the first time that I ended up back in hospital, the endone didn't relieve the pain. It was still pain. So yeah, never stopped it. So it sounds positive, I hope. I'm very hopeful. I hope I don't lose my leg because of this, I can tell you. It just looked disgusting. It was just horrific. I've never seen nothing like it. Just, wow, gross. Yeah. It put me to a stage where I think, oh yeah, I can lose my foot here, And yeah, so I've got to be pretty careful, and that's why I'm going in on Monday here to the Gemfields. I'm gonna get the nurse to cut this open again and redress the dressing, just to make sure that the foot's going to be all right. And if it's gotten better, fantastic. If it's gotten worse, well, I'm right next to the ambulance and they can take me in. That's it. You know, I've had enough, and they can put me on antibiotics in the hospital in Emerald. I'm not going to go to any other one intravenously. They can feed me there. There's no need for an operation. But intravenously fed, I know it's going to get rid of it, and I'll stay there until it gets rid of the infection. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I was hoping to go in a month's time to Philippines, of course, with Judy Ann. Go back and have a bit of fun, but don't think that's going to work out. And I'm hoping to see this within a week or 2 weeks to get rid of the infection, so I can start cutting. I want to cut. I want to do things. I can do cabs. I've got a cabbing machine. I got a cutting machine. I can cut. I can cab. Even if it takes me a long time, it doesn't matter. And I can do videos and show you guys the results, and at least do something, you know, instead of just doing these videos on showing you guys a boring video on how I'm going. And yeah, at the moment life sucks. But not that bad. Like I said, there's worse people, worse off. This is nothing compared to other people. Yeah, actually, you know, when I went into the hospital, which was amazing, there was a guy that got his leg chopped off in a wheelchair, and I looked at myself and looked at him, and I thought, wow, mine's nothing compared to him, you know. So yeah, there's always someone worse off anyhow. So that's the way I feel at the moment. There's always someone worse off, but yeah, I just don't like being sitting on my bum and not doing nothing. You know, I want to be digging, I wish, you know. But I will be, of course, you know. As soon as they allow me just a little tiny bit of weight to put on, I'll be underground. Hop along underground, and that's it, you know. Yeah, if it takes me 2 days to do 11 wheelbarrows, it takes me 2 days. It doesn't matter. At least I'm doing something, you know. I'm not going to push myself, but I'll get there. I'll do it. I can't wait, you know. And you know, I can manage to go up and down the ladder on 1 foot. She'll be right, you know, as long as I get my energy back. But that's the thing that I'm going to notice tomorrow. So I did notice that difference. Now, realistically, out of 100%, right, when it comes to the power of what I had, like from digging and everything, I've lost 95%, guys. 95%. I got on the crutches, and I can tell you how much I walked. I walked, say, 50 on the crutches just to go to the toilet when we went shopping after the hospital, and I had to go to the toilet, and I went into the toilet and back, and I would have covered 50 meters there and 40 meters back, and I was exhausted. I had to stop. I had no more energy left in me to be able to make it back to the car. Yeah, so yeah, wow. So I will be able to notice tomorrow, after 2 days of having this on, and I'll get back on the crutches, and I'm going to just try walking around here just to see how much energy I have in the body, and if it's an improvement, which I believe it will be. But anyhow, I'll give it a go. And Monday back into the clinic at Gemfields. So yeah, I tell you what, the nurses at Emerald Hospital, you couldn't ask for better. So professional, so well, like, just unbelievable. Yeah, great. So, yeah, I really like Emerald, but uh, when it comes to Rocky, that's a oh, bim, boom, boom. Um, Look, the surgeon herself is without a doubt, proper, 100%, you know, but, she doesn't take care of the rest. It's everything else after that that fails. And, yeah, a lot of the doctors, I mean, I don't know whether they're doctors or butchers, they couldn't put that thing that they put in, so into your vein with that piece of plastic that goes into your vein. Yeah. 2 doctors, one tried 3 times and was shaking, and only a young fella, and then that was the male, and that hurt quite a bit, but of course I put up with it, and it bruised me after it. And then there was another one that was a woman. She tried 3 times and failed, totally failed. I thought, wow, that's pretty sad. And then there was, and she ended up calling a nurse that does blood, takes your blood, and that one did it like no tomorrow. I mean, perfect, without any feeling at all. She did it straight away. I thought, oh wow, this is magnificent, So, and I've had that done. I can't remember how many times, but that was that. Now the nurses, like 30%, like 3 out of 10 were horrible. I'm absolutely disgusted at what these nurses were like. They were horrible. Yeah, just unbelievable. They're claiming, like you ask them a question, and they don't want to answer. They look at you and strangely and make out that you're offending them. And I had to have arguments with one that, not one, this happened many a times. Not one, this happened many a times in the hospital. I had to have arguments with them to give me painkillers, because they wouldn't look at the book where it quoted every 3 hours that I was allowed 2 endones, and they're persistent on saying no, one's enough, and you're not getting one for another 3 hours, that I'm supposed to have one every 6 hours, and they're saying I'm putting them in a position, and I said, are you for real? Like, I'm trying to tell them, are you for real? I'm saying, I'm the person that's in pain, and I'm telling you I'm in pain, and you're telling me I can't have a painkiller. Why am I in the hospital? I said, you don't know my pain, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I had to forcibly get them to get a doctor, and then for them to realize that they have to give me these tablets. Like, they think it's a joke, just because you're not screaming and yelling in there that you're in pain, because I can take the pain, but when it comes too much, and because this pain just goes rapidly, I mean, within an hour, I mean, you can start off, majority of the time, my pain, which is a 3, which would probably be a 6 for anyone else, I tolerate. And until it increases to a 7 and an 8 in my threshold of pain, that's when I want a tablet. And, sometimes it lapses the 3 hours and it's 4 hours or 5 hours because I tolerate it, and then I want the painkiller. But they refuse to give it. And these are the nurses I had problems with, like, you know. And then other ones, yeah, they were just horrible. And then of course you've got the beautiful ones that are fantastic, proper, 100%. I mean, they're doing their job. They're running around fixing everybody up. They're moving. Then you got these ones with, like, you know, one of them from Nepal, right? She's been a nurse for 1 year. You couldn't get someone to move so slow as what she does. Like, I asked for a painkiller that I'm in super pain. It takes her 1 hour before she gets back to you. She will turn around and stop for someone else that asks her a question and avoid you totally. This is the type of people I was dealing with in Rockhampton. They were absolutely disgusting. Couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And they spoil everything, and then stuffing it up in the first place when they turned around and sent me home and without any antibiotics. And then of course, you know, but this is all basically what I'm at is the hospital's fault. This is 100% the hospital's fault. And, like, you know, it's not a joke, you know. Yeah, like, yeah, unreal. Anyhow, so that's what I had to deal with, on top of being in pain and looking at my foot, and, you know, especially this now yesterday, after seeing it in such a condition, I was just appalled. I was appalled. So that's why I'm telling you guys now of what it was like, you know. And that's the truth. I didn't want to say this and denote Rockhampton Hospital or anything of the sort, but after this is too much. This is just, they're playing with people's lives, and care factor zero to some of these nurses, and they're the ones in charge of you there and then, you know. And, you know, they just avoid you. I would push the buzzer. Now, we're talking about nighttime, okay? When it's all quiet. It takes them half an hour to get to you, and you're pushing the buzzer for help. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably nurses here on my channel, and they could tell me if that's proper or not proper, but I can see the difference. Of course it's not proper. This is just unbelievable. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's my little story. Anyhow, bit of a whinge, but I thought I'd tell you what it's like. Anyhow, so yeah, not a happy chappy with Rocky. Definitely not. And I definitely never ever want to go back in there. Never ever. I didn't want to go back last time. This time, 100%, never again. If they're going to send me anywhere, I'm going to Brisbane. That's it. They can fly me there. It's not going to happen. Otherwise, I'm staying in Emerald, you know, and they can fly a doctor into Emerald, as far as I'm concerned. That's it. All right, guys. Enough whinging, you know. I want to get better and get well, and we'll see how we go. Put a smile back on my face, get that 7 kilos back on. And I'd say I lost that 7 kilos in muscle, definitely. And yeah, happy days coming up. Alright, guys. Like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell, thumbs up. God bless you all. Thanks very much, and bye for now.